the second race in this round of 16 in the ENEA playoffs from iRacing's Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Rick James, here to bring you uninterrupted green flag action from the world's fastest half mile. As the green flag is out, Perrin Huggins immediately to the lead. Let's go racing. Huggins to a quick lead out in front. Jordan Haynes in the second position in the unmarked number 41. He's got the fastest lap so far of the three underway. Dakota Long sitting in the third spot with Jacob Prince behind him. Prince able to get to the inside. He's got third position away from Dakota Long, who won last week at a crash-filled Caution Motor Speedway. There he is, highlighted in green. He is locked in to the next round of racing as Jordan Haynes loses control of his number 41. Jake Prince will now make up the time. Here comes the number 9, looking to get to the inside of car 41. Haynes on the defense. Haynes in the second position comfortably. Prince now coming up behind him. Dakota Long in fourth, trying to just keep it nice and cool at the back. Ryan Lindemann looks to be losing a little bit of concentration as well. The number 2 of Ryan Pasoko now comes on the outside of car 57. Lindemann just floating up the racetrack, just narrowly avoids making contact. And then Justin Shoup coming up behind car 57. Zach Stevens also on the move in car 47. He gets to the inside of Brian Tagg, who's now rounding out the top 12. Lucas Reed has spun out right in front of pit road. The number 3 Budweiser Chevrolet. Not a good start for the matte blue machine. He's already coming down into the pits. Let's see what happened to him. Did he just get on the apron and get loose? That's exactly what happened to car number 3 right across the racetrack. Heavy slam, and the number 28 of Seth Whitworth just avoids Reed, right on board with Whitworth. Just keeps it full throttle there. Clever moves by Whitworth, and that right there is going to earn Seth his very own Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Give me some of those!
Whitworth currently running in the 16th position. Perrin Huggins still out in front. 0.2 of a second the gap. Jordan Haynes now looks to the inside of car number 4. We could have a change for the lead. .41 does not relent. The 4 of Huggins on the outside. The 4-1 of Haynes on the inside. Huggins trying to cut off the run out of 2. Jake Prince also taking the high side behind car number 4. And the undisputed lead now going to Jordan Haynes, 18 laps into this one. If you've just tuned in, you haven't missed a thing. One lead change as Jordan Haynes is now your new leader. Perrin Huggins in second. There goes the 9 of Prince to the outside. Sean Anderson rounding out the top 5. Ryan Terrien, the French pilot, rounding out the top 10. Racing Rick telling his boy in the 91. Bealton, Virginia's Justin Shoup saying, settle in and hit your marks. It's a long race, and it is indeed battle for the top 10. The double 9 of Brian Tagg now coming up behind French pilot Ryan Terrien. Zach Stevens behind him in that 47. He wants a piece. Again, there are the points coming into this race. Drivers have to be on their game. Dakota Long with one win in these playoffs is locked in. Everybody else is not. And those drivers in red, they face the drop. If at the end of next week's race, they still find themselves in those final 4 positions, they are out of the ENEA playoffs. Mike Bennett, Mackenzie Roon, Jeff Rudick, and Ryan Pasoko all looking for redemption. Next week's race at Watkins Glen International. That's going to be an absolute thrill. So now Dakota Long has moved into the 2nd position after starting in 3rd. He's chasing down the 41 of Jordan Haynes. Cody Johnson in the 08, now sitting in the 17th position. Paul Weckerly right ahead of the leaders. Weckerly looking to be the first car, 1 lap off the pace. Terrien now has the 47 of Stevens to his outside. This is the battle for 9th. Jordan Haynes still leading at the front. Jake Prince in 2nd by 0.6. Perrin Huggins rocking in 3rd, and Dakota Long in 4th. Prince looking to get a win. He's got plenty this year so far. 5 to his name. Dakota Long with 3. Same as Perrin Huggins in car number 4. Lots of drivers still looking to lock their way in to the rest of these playoffs. The 2nd round, 2 weeks away. Stevens in the 47 trying to find space around Lindemann in the 5-7. But drivers seem to now be settling into this first run. They should be able to go between 60 to 70 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Stevens in the 47. Looks to wiggle just a bit, trying to get his race car back underneath him. That might open the door for Cody McFadden. Let's go on board with the 64. Very much a rhythm track, but very difficult to get that rhythm when there's a lot of cars around you. Paul Weckerly just trying to keep the rhythm out of the rest of the competition. The double 2 finds himself 1 lap off the pace, but not the first car 1 lap down. That honor now goes to Seth Whitworth, and it's about to be Matt Croakey in the 0-2. There goes Jordan Haynes and Jake Prince just putting him a lap down. Croakey doing a good job to stay out of the way. Haynes, half a second the gap back to Prince. Croakey might have gotten in the wall. Dakota Long trying to avoid all of this. Again, he's locked in to the next round of playoffs, the round of 8. No, is it 12? 16 will turn into 12, won't it? Sure will, if that's how it goes. It will. just to brush up on that. 16 will turn into 12 drivers after next week's race at Watkins Glen. Brian Tagg off the pace in the 999 Busch Apple car. He's now running in 15th. He finds himself as the first car 1 lap down. Jake Baker now the last car on the lead lap. Race leader Jordan Haynes in the distance. Cody McFadden now to the inside of Ryan Lindam in this for 9th with Paul Weckerly in the way. Everybody trying to avoid the double two. On board now with Terry Ann. Terry Ann now sitting in 10th, chasing down Lindemann with Stevens on his outside. Weckerly still in front of all of these guys. Three wide through turn number 1. Michael Bennett and Lindemann, they make contact. Bennett now in the wall, looking to recover after getting scraped up by car 57 on the outside of turn number 2. Weckerly to the outside of Terry Ann, the Frenchman. In 8th, Stevens trying to stay off the wall, now behind the 5-7 of Lindemann once again. Now the battle. Perrin Huggins and Dakota Long fighting it out for 3rd as Long almost makes contact with the wall. He seems to get his groove back once again when he's got clear track around him. 9, 8, 4, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Jake Prince with most points this season, but not locked in to next round of playoffs yet. Now getting around Mike Bennett in car 19, who's off the pace. Bennett finds himself in 12th, the second car 1 lap down, and he's coming into the pits. Lindemann right now scored as the lucky dog, and Zach Stevens, the last car on the lead lap. We're 1/4 of the way into the race. Zach Stevens now trying to get around Seth Whitworth, 1 lap down in 15th. Cody Johnson sitting in 9th. I don't think Cody's a part of these playoffs. He is. He's actually in 12th. That shows exactly what I know, which is absolutely nothing. So Cody Johnson is in 12th, but he is in the drop zone. No, he's just above it. Again, proving what I know, which is absolutely nothing. He's safe for now, but he's got to put together some solid runs. He does. Of course, that goes for everybody. I'm sure they want to make it all the way to the final round of the playoffs to have a chance to win that title. Jake Prince on the outside of Dakota Long, this for 2nd, and Perrin Huggins now behind the number 8 of Dakota Long. Let's go on board with Huggins. Huggins now doing it around the outside, chasing down Jacob Prince for that 2nd spot. Huggins with a great run. Weckerly right in front of the 9, and the 9 says, you gotta go, man. Now Dakota Long taking advantage of the brief pause in action. The 9 of Prince, 3 5.7 and counting behind the race leader. Seth Whitworth now gets right in Prince's way. Huggins takes advantage, but he smacks the wall on the inside. The race keeps moving 3 wide through turn number 3. Jacob Prince sandwiched between Whitworth, who's coming down off the wall, and now Long gets stuck behind the 2.8 of Whitworth. Prince in second, 5 seconds off the race leader. Dakota Long finally getting around Seth Whitworth, and now Sean Anderson following in that wake once again. Here comes Perrin Huggins on the outside of car number 22, Paul Weckerly, who's 2 laps off the pace, and they sort out 9, 8, 13, 4, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Shout out to Dr. Bush, shout out to Kopitar fan as well, asking to join ENEA. If anybody's joining in racing these guys here in ENEA, check them out. Send them a DM on Twitter at ENEA Racing. Johnson now in 7th, up 10 places from where he started. Virginian just across the border in Bealton. Justin Shoup sits in 6th right now, 6 seconds off the top 5 where Sean Anderson sits. Shoup has gained 2 places, Anderson's stagnant. There's Perrin Huggins, he's sitting in 3rd. Jacob Prince is in 2nd, and Jordan Haynes leading this race by 6 seconds. And that man in black, and that number 41, really just having the race of his season so far. Haynes comes into this race 30th in points with an average start of 1st and an average finish of 2nd. That tells you Haynes has just been in 1 race this season, but clearly a silver medal. And it's a good start for him. We'll see just what this season brings. 6 cars left on the lead lap as we've had a few more come down into the pits. 6 seconds now between Justin Shoup in 6th, Dakota Long in 5th, who's all over the back end of Sean Anderson. 66 laps currently underway from Bristol. We've gone caution-free if you've recently tuned in. Been a great race so far compared to last week's demo derby at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 11 cautions between laps 44 and 100. Quite a race for ENEA, but certainly nowhere it can go but up from here. And Cody Johnson taking advantage of that, up 10 places. Dr. Bush saying Dakota's getting smoked. He's supposed to be very good. And we expect Long to be running in the top 3, but now he's in the top 5, and Justin Shoup. Now, is he closing him in? The lap times say not necessarily, but Long currently being outpaced by Sean Anderson. Anderson, I think he was the Daytona winner this season after a calamitous last lap, as you would expect at a plate race. Zach Stevens all over the back end of Cody Johnson. This is the fight for 7th on board with Johnson. There is the lone leader, 5.8 seconds at the front. Taking a look at the difference in laps, now you're looking at Jordan Haynes, who over the last lap has not gained on Perrin Huggins, and over the last 2 laps now, Huggins now shows he's gaining on race leader Jordan Haynes. 74 laps into this race, and Huggins outpacing 3rd place and current points leader Jake Prince. Sean Anderson's there, now looking to overtake the points leader. Number 13 to the inside of car number 9, 75 laps into this race. Possibly Prince just trying to conserve some resources, but we're going to see who's managed the tires better than the rest. Zach Stevens in the 47 all over the back end of Cody Johnson, who now looks like he's getting around Justin Shoup in the number 91. Shoup trying to hang on to the top 6 spot, but Johnson has other plans for him, perhaps some tire saving from the 08 of Johnson. And all of the top 10 have yet to come down pit road. Brian Tagg looks like he's looking for some daylight to the inside of car 08. Dr. Bush asking how many laps are getting on a fuel run. I have no clue. I estimated about 70 laps before they'd have to come down for fuel. I was sorely mistaken, as we're now 80 laps into this race. Jordan Haynes still leading by quite a margin, but certainly it's being cut into. You can see Perrin Huggins has really been tearing into that lead now. Sub 5 seconds the gap now. Maybe Haynes will be able to hang on before the first round of pit stops, whether they be green flag or not. That could affect how the rest of this race goes. Huggins in the number 4. Now to the inside of Jake Prince. Perrin Huggins watching Zach Stevens and Cody Johnson battle it out. 5 cars now remain on the lead lap. It's been quite the masterclass by the 41 of Jordan Haynes. Dr. Bush wondering if there's fuel saving going on. Well, if there's one driver who can definitely do that, it would be the 4 of Perrin Huggins. Have a listen. Huggins, 5 seconds off of the race leader as he's stuck behind the lap traffic of the 47, Zach Stevens, the 08 of Cody Johnson. Matt Croakey, he's in the 15th position. Looks like he wants to try and get a piece of Huggins. Dakota Long on an island by himself. 3 seconds ahead to Sean Anderson. 3 seconds behind to Cody Johnson. Zach Stevens watching the 4 of Perrin Huggins go up the inside. And Justin Shoup 2 seconds off of that. Jordan Haynes, 5.3 and counting, possibly the 41, maybe on a little bit of conservation, just trying to keep the gap consistent between himself and Perrin Huggins, who's struggling with that lap traffic. Huggins finally getting around to the 08 and the 47. That last time around, Huggins not quicker than race leader Jordan Haynes, but look for green numbers on the bottom of your screen this time around. Green, Huggins gains. Red, Huggins has lost. And it's green. 1/10 and more up to Jordan Haynes. We'll see what Huggins can muster this time around. 5.1 seconds, the gap between them, and Perrin Huggins will cross the line. And it's green again, so Perrin Huggins looks like he's on the way back up to race leader Jordan Haynes, but will he have enough time before green flag pit stops? And if Haynes can make it to lap 101, you know he'll have enough fuel to go the distance, but of course, drivers only getting 2 tire changes maximum. Fresh Goodyears could possibly be the key. Still too early to tell. Stevens in the 47, now trying to overtake the 08 of Cody Johnson. They're still trying to overtake, we should say. He's been at it for quite a while. The 2 of Ryan Pasocco just ahead. Jake Baker now moving to the inside. Baker did pit on lap number 60. And again, he's got fresh tires compared to his competitors here. And almost some contact there between them. Cody Johnson just trying to stay off Ryan Lindemann. Dakota Long up ahead, now possibly losing time. Long struggling to stay off the wall, but he manages to keep the right side of his race car clean for now. Possibly just trying to keep as little incident points as possible. Further up, Cody Johnson still holding off the attack from Zach Stevens. Doing a great job, actually. And there's the caution right there. We're just about to go to the halfway point. Caution is out. Ryan Lindemann's been involved with Jake Baker just before the halfway mark. There's Lindemann. Looks like he's trying to come into the pit, so this is well before this happens here. This is Lindemann on the way out of the pits. Looks like no incident here, but then have another look at Lindemann right before the caution. Baker in the 17s also involved in this one. Let's see what happened between Lindemann and Baker. No, they just both get loose off of turn number 2. And again, this is laps prior here. Lindemann's right there. Lindemann will catch up to Baker, and it looks like they're both going to make contact off the second corner. And Lindemann coming at an extreme rate of speed as well, considering his tires are 20 laps newer. Oh, Lindemann just got loose off of the second corner. Oh, it looked like Baker actually might have gotten loose. Baker looks like he just got loose off of turn number 2. Made some contact with the 5.7 of Lindemann. So Jordan Haynes is still your race leader in the number 41 machine. We're going to take our first break, caution number 1, coming out just before the halfway mark. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the second half of race 14 of ENEA. Green flag out, Jordan Haynes leading Perrin Huggins across the line. Already spaced out immensely. Huggins, Haynes, side by side for first place, and Perrin Huggins takes immediate advantage. Just past the halfway mark, Perrin Huggins in car number 4 out to the lead. Jordan Haynes in the 41 in second. How about Jacob Prince? It's sitting in third with all these lapped cars between them. 2.45 seconds already, the gap between second and third. Right on board with Jordan Haynes. Cody Johnson entering the pits immediately. What happened here? Coming out of pit lane, did he just get knocked back into pit lane? Possibly a speeding penalty for the 08. Looks like he just got damaged again on the left-hand side. Dakota Long went purple. 14.68 seconds. Dakota Long running his personal best. Jake Prince sitting in third. 1 lap ahead of Dakota Long. And that caution seemingly leaving 3 cars on the lead lap. Everybody fourth on down getting trapped, and now Long will either have to get his lap back the hard way and try and pass Perrin Huggins, who is, well, there's the gap. Not terribly far, is it? 16 seconds now. Dakota Long coming off of turn number 4. And then there's Perrin Huggins, so just over 5 seconds for Dakota Long to unlap himself. Jordan Haynes sitting in second, just ahead of Jake Prince. Well, I say just ahead, but really 4.5 seconds isn't just ahead at Bristol, is it? That's more than a quarter of the racetrack. Sean Anderson, though, he's within 0.3 of a second to Dakota Long. We're inside the final 90 laps here at Bristol. Jake Baker now to the inside of Brian Tagg. This for the 9th position. Baker trying his hardest. He sends it in deep down to the apron. Brian Tagg gives him plenty of room to get around. And hats off to Tagg, giving him a hard time, but not an impossible time. Dakota Long now on the back foot. Sean Anderson pressing the issue, and the Daytona winner now trying to get a bit closer, tries to open up the left-hand side. Dakota Long tries to throw a heavy block on the 13. You saw the 8 almost wreck himself trying to block car number 13. And hopefully it didn't do anything to those brand new tires. Anderson again just trying to get to the inside. He can almost force a mistake out of Dakota Long if he just gets right to that left-hand side again. He might just be able to force the mistake out of car number 8. Great run off of turn number 4 for Anderson. Long still playing defensively on that high side. He almost makes contact with that wall. Long has really been flirting with a lot of attention on the outside. Car number 8 all over the racetrack. Big tail whip out of turn number 4 and struggling to keep that car under control. Long desperate to stay in 4th. 10 seconds ahead. There is Jacob Prince. Then Jordan Haynes just behind Perrin Huggins. 0.6 is the gap. Haynes leading the most laps today. But Perrin Huggins with 1 win this season, looking to lock in his spot in the next round of the playoffs. There are those points, and again, Long locked in. Last week's winner, Huggins, comes into this race tied for 7th in the points. And again, he doesn't need to be anywhere but in the top 12. He doesn't have to win this race to all but guarantee his way, but the surefire way to guarantee your ticket in the next round of the playoffs: win. "77 laps remain in Thunder Valley. The 13 of Sean Anderson all over the back end of Dakota Long and car number 4. The 3 Chai number 8 Chevrolet trying to hold off that Haas Tooling 13 Mustang. Just ahead, Jordan Haynes in the all-black 41 with his 2nd start this season, looking for his first win this season. Half a second behind Perrin Huggins. Haynes is just here for wins. No playoffs for him. He wants the W. What costs is he going to take to get it? Drivers again spreading out, not lulling themselves into a false sense of security. Ryan Pasoko sitting in 8th. Ryan Terrien in the 7th position. Pasoko and Terrien both 2 laps off the pace. But both of those drivers in the championship playoffs. Pasoko sitting in 16th, Terrien in 11th. Still plenty of points to play for, and anybody throwing in the towel this early is sorely mistaken. 3/10 at the front. Perrin Huggins can no longer hold off Jordan Haynes, and Haynes can smell the number 4 in the distance. 70 laps to go next time. Haynes all the way down on the inside, trying to force a mistake, possibly out of Perrin Huggins. 4/10 now the gap. Dakota Long now getting away from Sean Anderson. 7/10 the gap, and Jake Prince now next on his radar. Talk about tail whips. The number 9 Coors Banquet Chevy with a huge tail whip there. And his Coors counterpart, Sean Anderson, Justin Shoup. He finds himself the last car 1 lap down. He wants to be where Dakota Long is, the first car 1 lap down. He wants that lucky dog. He wants to get back into race-winning contention. But still plenty to fight for Justin Shoup. He's tied for 4th in the points, so he needs a good run to make the work a lot easier for him next week at Watkins Glen. Matt Croakey watching Paul Weckerly drive away. 9/10 now the gap. Weckerly in the double 2 just ahead of race leader Perrin Huggins. During the last green flag run, Paul Weckerly did exactly this. He's on the racing line right ahead of the race leader. What is it going to do to Huggins? And Huggins just manages to get around him. The 41 of Jordan Haynes now running the high side as well. Weckerly comes up off the racetrack on Jordan Haynes. And it's difficult. I mean, you can't just tell a guy not to race, can you? But Weckerly does find himself 5 laps off the pace in the 10th position. You know, 2 sides of the same coin. There's contact right there. Paul Weckerly gets up into Dakota Long, going backwards on the racetrack. We stay green. Weckerly now back down onto the off the racing surface, and there is the caution. Paul Weckerly getting turned around after he comes up on Dakota Long in the number 8 and the Sparta, Kentucky native. Is it Kentucky, South Carolina? Who knows? One of the Spartas. Looks like he doesn't have too much damage. We'll take a closer look at car number 8. Not even a scrape. Let's go back around and see what happened to Weckerly. Comes up right onto Dakota Long. Nowhere for the 8 car to go. Last time around at Bristol, it was a different story for Dakota Long, who seemed to be getting into everybody, but this time around, now it's Paul Weckerly who's culpable for this move. Gets right in front of Dakota Long, and nothing that Long could do to get around him. And that brings out the most recent caution of this race. Jordan Haynes, still your race leader with 60 laps to go. And the lights are still on atop the pace truck. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled this time. We won't be missing any restarts. We'll be back here in 60 seconds for more ENEA racing from Bristol.
going green.
Lights are out atop the pace truck. This time it might be for good. Jordan Haynes leading. There is second place Justin Shoup, who didn't pit under the last caution. Haynes leading Shoup. Ryan Pasoko, who's running in the 8th position, seems to be wedged along with Ryan Terrien, who's in 7th. Then you've got Brian Tagg, who's in 9th, who's wedged in there. Jordan Haynes now leading as they come to the line. And the caution will be coming out again, possibly just to sort out whatever's going on. So it might be having these issues here, but so really not sure what's going on, honestly. They're probably waiting for the pace truck to come back around. But again, Jordan Haynes leading. Justin Shoup sitting in the 2nd position. Let's see if we can have a quick word with Shoup. Justin, Rick James up top, can you hear me? Justin Shoup, Rick James in the booth, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy, you're sitting in the 2nd position right now behind Jordan Haynes. Looks like we've got some scoring issues here with the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th cars in the line, but we're going to have less than 50 to go when we restart this race. What do you got on the podium? You got a chance?
I think so. I don't know. The beginning of that race went a little differently than I thought it would. I burnt my tires a little harder, but this second stint there, I was doing a little bit better. So I'm not sure. I definitely lost my confidence first stint, but I mean, I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Just got to stay on the lead lap and hope for the best.
Perrin Huggins rolling in that 3rd position. Jake Prince, Ryan Terrien now on the lead lap, as is Sean Anderson. And then you've got Dakota Long, who's also on the lead lap as well. So 7 cars now on the lead lap. Seems like a lot got their laps back from that last caution. So we're going to have plenty more competition in the last quarter of this race.
Yep, definitely. I'm going to, like I say, just try and keep the nose clean and stay away from anything that might happen here with the aggressive racing these last 50 laps.
All right, buddy, best of luck. We're going to watch you guys turn this around for the last 50 here. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Right on, buddy.
So we patiently wait for the lights to turn off on the pace truck so we can get racing once again. 150 laps now underway. If you've just tuned in, we've had 2 cautions so far. These are the points coming into this race. The drivers highlighted in green have won this round and are locked into the next round of the playoffs. Drivers highlighted in red currently face the drop. They will be out if they remain in that red zone after next week's race at Watkins Glen. Jordan Haynes still leading Justin Shoup. And we patiently wait for the lights to turn off on the pace truck so we can get racing once again. 2 by 2 once again. It will be 49 laps to go when they get to the line. Green flag is in the air. The pace truck peels off. Jordan Haynes with control of the field. Justin Shoup to the outside, and we're racing again. Huggins immediately to second. Jacob Prince now coming up behind Justin Shoup. The Coors cars nose to tail. Dakota Long in tow. Prince on the outside. And Shoup now to defend. Haynes goes purple. 14:53, the race's fastest lap so far. Car 41 now putting on a masterclass, has undoubtedly led the most laps tonight. Perrin Huggins close behind, but does he have anything for him at all? Sean Anderson in car number 13, now looking to join the top 5 by getting around Justin Shoup. Dakota Long now behind Jacob Prince in that number 9. 45 laps to go. We'll see if they can go caution-free for the end of this race. Prince goes green, 14:84. 1.5 seconds now the gap between Jake Prince and Perrin Huggins, but there's been the gap over the last 5 laps. Only that time on lap 156 did Jake Prince go faster than Perrin Huggins. We'll see what the clock says this next time around. And Huggins quicker than Prince, outpacing Prince. 1.2 seconds the gap from Jordan Haynes back to Perrin Huggins. And there, over the last 4, now maybe 5 laps, Perrin Huggins, that time on lap 159, Huggins just a little bit quicker. But right now, Haynes putting the work on the rest of the field. 40 laps to go now. Again, Haynes not in the playoff picture. He's just here for the win. Justin Shoup, half a second ahead of Sean Anderson, half a second behind Dakota Long, who's 2 seconds off Jake Prince. Brian Tagg looks like he's slow. He's off the pace in that double 9, just looking to get a little bit back, more up to speed. Jake Baker 5 seconds ahead and counting. Terrien now getting around Baker. Ryan Terrien currently running in the 7th spot. He's now the last car on the lead lap. Ryan Pasoko in the lucky dog position. He's 2 laps off the pace, so if a caution comes out, he'll get 1 of those 2 laps back. Justin Shoup now within 4/10 to Dakota Long. That time around, Justin Shoup said he was 3/10 off the pace. So Long now getting up into 4th. This time off of turn number 4, Justin Shoup. Just about a 10th slower, but he's still trying to open up the left-hand side, trying to find some moonlight to the inside of car number 8. 91 with a bit of a shake. Sean Anderson, does he smell blood in the water? He wants a piece of that top 5. 3/10 now the gap between Dakota Long and Justin Shoup, while it's only 1 second now the gap between 1st and 2nd place. Perrin Huggins now trying to catch up to car 41 and get his 2nd win of the season. Now 169 laps about to be complete from the world's fastest half mile at Bristol Motor Speedway. Jordan Haynes in the 41 putting a spanking on the rest of this field. 41 laps to go. And Haynes keeps it pushing at the front. Justin Shoup There he is, finally up the back end of Dakota Long. He can just smell fourth place. Long opens up the bottom side, and Shoop tries to make the most of it. Long gets into the wall. Shoop now cuts off the bottom lane down the front straight. He'll come back up and around car number 8, but he can't clear him just yet. Drag race for fourth at Bristol. Long scrapes the wall again. Again, no fast repairs. Dakota Long could be damaging that race car. Justin Shoop just needs to take the bottom line away from kart number 8, and he can keep him up on that wall. Long just can't get around Shoop off the corner. Shoop makes it work for him, and he clears Dakota Long for the 4th spot. Shoop up now 4 places from where he started. Nine-tenths the gap Jordan Haynes has now on Perrin Huggins. Brian Tagg goes green. He just pitted on lap 159, 14.92. And Pisoko also goes green with a 14.86. Both of those drivers, respectively, running their fastest laps of the race. Justin Shoop 1 second ahead of Dakota Long, who could be on a conservation strategy, but Long has really been making friends with the outside wall. Here comes Jordan Haynes looking to put Long a lap down. And how's that for pace from car 41? Long now behind the race leader. He just can't get around him. Here comes Perrin Huggins, now trying to get around car number 8. He's going to do it the hard way on the outside. 22 circuits remain under the skies of Bristol, Tennessee. Pisoko goes green again, 14.83. Ryan could be on a roll. Haynes now behind Justin Shoop, looking to put Shoop a lap down, and if the caution comes out, that would make Shoop the lucky dog. Justin Shoop in car 91 shows no resistance to the race leader, who's now crossing for 1.9 at the line. Tag just went green, 14.90 personal best for the double 9. Jordan Haynes in the 41. Now 18 laps to go. Half a second between Haynes and Huggins. Brian Tagg now catching up to Ryan Lindemann in car 5-7, and Lindemann cannot hold off Tagg any longer. There's the pass for the 11th position, and Tagg overtaking Terrien, not for position, but Tagg now has a move on with those fresh tires. Does Haynes have the tires to make it on that last run? Perrin Huggins really cut into the 41's lead. Huggins seems to be doing the same now. There's Huggins. You see he was just slowly reeling in Haynes, and he's doing it now for the last 3 laps. Perrin Huggins has been quicker than Jordan Haynes. 14 laps to go now. Sean Anderson now chasing down Dakota Long, 4/10 the gap. This is the battle for 5th. Long locked in. Anderson still plenty to play for car number 13. Anderson finds himself 3rd in the point standings, but again, not locked in. A quarter of a second is all that remains with 11 laps to go. Jordan Haynes looks back to Perrin Huggins, who is now within 4/10 of a second. Long is in the wall. He opens up the door. Sean Anderson now looks to get to the inside. Crunch time here. Nothing to lose for Long, everything to gain for Anderson. Long continues to scrape up against that outside retaining wall, giving the position away to Sean Anderson, who now works it up into 5th. Long sticks behind car number 13, but can offer no rebuttal. Car 13 now comfortably into 5th, and here comes Ryan Terrien to the inside of car number 8. Dakota Long scraped up, and he can offer nothing more on the outside. He sends it in way low to cut off car number 6. 6 laps remain, and Perrin Huggins is there. Now looking to find room around the left side, around the top side. Perrin Huggins not locked into these playoffs, but a win would fix it all. Jordan Haynes not even in the playoffs. He's here just for the W. There's Huggins. There's Huggins. He's opened up the left-hand side. He will get around the 41, but will he clear him off of turn number 2? He won't. Huggins gets himself wrecked, wiggling up into the race leader. Caution is out at Bristol. You saw it coming. You saw it coming. Let's have a look. There's Huggins. Watch from the top. Huggins in the 4. He will get around car 41. He gets loose. He wiggles it. Huggins just sends it in deep. Puts in way too much throttle. And one more look at Perrin Huggins trying to get around Jordan Haynes. Yeah, there's the wiggle from car number 4. And you just predicted that could happen. On board now with Huggins. On board with Haynes. So Haynes still being scored as the race leader. Perrin Huggins in the 2nd position. Lights are still on atop the pace truck. We're going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back for the first green-white checkered attempt. Perrin Huggins not locked into the playoffs. The number 4 car must win to get in, or he has to race his way in at Watkins Glen next week. Jordan Haynes in the 41, just here for the W, does not care about these playoff points. Green flag is out, just over 1 mile to settle it. Great jump from car 41, 2 laps to go. Prince gets to the inside. He could also win his way in. There he goes to the left-hand side of Jordan Haynes. Coming to the white flag now, Jacob Prince with the restart of the season. He makes it to the white flag. It's a race no matter what. They're crashing behind him. Prince in the 9 has Huggins already 2/10 behind him. Half a second now into turn number 3. Checkered flag is out and Jacob Prince wins round 14 at Bristol. Made the move when it counted. He led just 1 lap, or 2 laps I should say, this whole race. Jake Prince gets it done at the very end. He wins at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's go back and take a look at that white flag lap and the ensuing crash behind them. That's Justin Shoup in the 91 that looks like he got dumped at the white flag. Have another look. Possibly dumped himself. And he does exactly that right ahead of Jake Baker. Let's go on board with Shoup and watch Baker almost miss him. Right there without even flinching, and that's going to earn Jake his own Cold Trickle Move of the Race award.
Ice cream.
Give me some of those.
Good for Jake Baker. And there is their top 3, Jake Prince, Perrin Huggins, Jordan Haynes. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have podium interviews in just a minute. On the podium now with our top 3, starting with tonight's bronze medalist in only his 2nd race this season. 2 races, 2 podiums. Jordan, a 2nd and a 3rd. Man, what is the rest of the field missing out on? Because so far, you've got an impressive average finish.
Yeah, it should have been a win, but things happen on the racetrack. So, but outside of that, I mean, it was fun. Tires were out pretty good. Took about 30, 40 laps for that to happen. So, pretty much what I was just doing was just riding the bottom and just buying my time, and then once everybody else's stuff burned off, go to the top and then burn the rest of it off for the rest of the run. But outside of that, we had that caution about halfway. I was kind of disappointed in that because I wanted to at least have a chance of green flag stops. But it was fun while it lasted. And then that last run there, the very last run, I was just sitting up here, just uh, fired off pretty quick to start if I could hold a gap. Then after that, I can just kind of maintain it, run the bottom and whatnot. But kind of overdrove it just a little bit. That's on me. I allowed Perrin to get back, and then after that, man, I don't know what was going on off the two. I mean, I know I had Jacob in front of me. We was about to put my lap down, and I was getting a little tight, and so I just downshifted and gassed it back up and had a run. And I don't know whether if I came down or Parent came up, but I mean, on my end, like he came up and put us in the fence, and that screwed up my whole suspension. So when we went green, I was like full 120-degree lock, just trying to get it to turn after that, and I wasn't gonna hold Jacob up because I knew he was fast then, but. It is what it is. Third place, it's fine, but it's not what you want when you're not racing for anything right now. So,
Still a bronze medal. We going to see you next week at Watkins Glen?
no, I'm probably skip next week.
All right, congratulations again on that bronze medal. Second place tonight, Perrin Huggins in that number 4. Silver medal tonight, Perrin, still not locked in to next round, but Watkins Glen next week, a chance to prove it all.
Yeah, that is not one of my good race tracks. So I'll be mid next week. But I want to say I'm sorry to Jordan. I was loose off a 2 there, and he did not come down. I came up, that was on me, and hey, took us both out contention. But I still don't think it should have been a caution because we both saved our race car. So that's fishy in my eyes. So, but congrats to Jacob. He was fast too, and we'll take the P2 and just move on. It is what it is.
Moving on to tonight's race winner after Perrin Huggins gets a well-deserved second place finish. JP, 6 wins this season. You're locked in to the next round in 2 weeks' time. Are we going to see you next week at Watkins Glen? And after 6 victories, will you accept anything less than a championship when it's all said and done?
Yeah, championships are hard to win. You never know when you get to that last race. So I would be disappointed if I didn't make the final 4. I mean, that's pretty much all you can do. Like even the guys in Cup say, you got to get to the final 4, and then there's no telling what happens then. So if I don't get to the final 4, I'll be highly disappointed. But it was a good night tonight. Had a good car there, and I was battling. Can't remember his name. I was battling for the lead there earlier, and Perrin caught me, and he kind of gave me a bump in the middle of the corner, and I got loose and hit the wall. And from that point, for the rest of the race, my right front was killed. Like it just messed up the suspension, and my right front would wear out after 10 laps. But I know he didn't mean to do it. It's no problem. It's Bristol racing, but got lucky there with the caution. He just came up over in front of him and spun off his nose. So got lucky there, and I had saved a set from the previous caution, so it just kind of worked out for us tonight. But glad to advance and get another win and some more points.
A fantastic drive tonight, one of the best restarts I've seen all season, and here you are with 6 wins. We'll see you in a week's time at the Glen.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Fans at home, another chapter of ENEA Racing goes out the window, and now we open up the book for Watkins Glen next week, round number 15, right here on Rick James TV next Monday night, 8 p.m. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you